Hi friends, today we're talking about using the discriminant and interpreting the discriminant, which is a part of the quadratic formula. So grab your notepad, we're going to start writing this down. All right, so from a previous lesson you've learned our quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. The stuff, the garbage underneath that radical is your discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. Now, if you figure that out and you get, if your discriminant is positive, you get 2 real solutions. If it's a 0, you get 1 real solution. If it's negative, there are no real solutions. And in Algebra 2, we'll talk about non-real solutions. So what does that mean as far as graphing goes? Well, if your graph crosses your x-axis twice, that's 2 solutions. Remember, solutions are the same thing as roots, which are the same thing as x-intercepts, which are the same thing as 0. If it crosses 1 time or if it bounces off that x-axis, that is 1 solution. If it doesn't cross it at all, that's a 0 solution. So let's practice finding our discriminant. Okay, I've got 2 problems here. First one, I always encourage you to write b squared minus 4ac down. Now we're going to look, remember this is your a, this is your b, this is your c, and if it's not already in standard form, make sure that you get it in standard form, meaning you set it equal to 0 and you put your highest exponent first and then in descending order. So we've got 6 squared. Now the parentheses around the 6 aren't important right now because it's a positive 6, but if that was negative, those parentheses are vital. Minus 4 times 2 times 5. Okay, now we've got 6 squared, which is 36, and now we look to see, do we have a negative times a negative? We do not, so we can go ahead and just bring down that negative sign. Then we get 4 times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40. If I were to subtract that, I would get negative 4. This means that it is negative. So if it's negative, no real solutions. No real solutions. All right, let's try this next one. In this case, remember our standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. You'll notice here that we're actually missing our b term, not our c term. We have our c term. We're missing the one that has an x attached to it. So we can always add a placeholder plus 0x because anything times 0 is 0. So that doesn't change our equation at all. But now we have our a, which is 1, our b is 0, and our c is negative 3. So b squared minus 4ac. So our b is 0 squared minus 4 times our a, which is 1, times our c, which is negative 7. All right, 0, and then I have a negative times a negative, so don't just bring down this negative sign, do plus 28. My discriminant is 28, which means that this is going to have 2 real solutions because it is positive. All right, let's try a couple more here. For this guy right here, we have 4x squared minus 12x plus 9, our a, our b, and our c, and be mindful of your signs here. B squared minus 4ac. All right, so we've got negative 12 squared minus 4 times 9. Negative quantity, negative 12 squared, and this is why that negative is important, is positive 144. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just bring down my minus sign because I don't see another one that I can multiply it by. So negative times positive gives us that negative. So multiply 4 times 4 is 16, times 9 is 144. So I get 144 minus 144 is 0. That means I have 1 real solution. Okay, so let's apply all this to how it looks on a graph. So again, roots are the same thing as zeros, which are the same thing as intercepts. So for this next section, we're going to find the number of x-intercepts in the following. And the number of x-intercepts means how many times does it cross, right? So b squared minus 4ac. We have 10 squared minus 4 times 1 times 25. All right, 10 squared is 100 minus 4 times 5 is 100, so I get 0. That means I'm going to have 1 x-intercept. 1 x-intercept. Over here, I see I'm going to need another placeholder. I have y equals x squared minus 9x, and then I'm missing my c term, so plus 0. All right, b squared minus 4ac. b is going to be quantity, negative 9 squared minus 4 times 1 times 0. Negative 9 squared is going to be positive 81. Minus 4 times 0, which is just 0. So 81 is our discriminant. That means that we're going to have 2 x-intercepts because it's going to cross the x-axis 2 times because this is positive. All right, so over here we have b squared minus 4ac. All right, for b I have positive 2 squared minus 4 times negative 1 times negative 4. All right, so 4, and then a negative times a negative is a positive times a negative is a negative. So negative 16. So that's going to give me negative 12, which means I have no x-intercepts because it is negative. No x-intercepts. Hopefully that helps you understand the discriminant a little bit better and how we interpret that and why we use it. If you have any questions, leave them below. Thanks so much.